Yes, you guys, welcome back. I hope you're still feeling ecstatic after that performance that we saw from the team tonight in our 1-0 win against Spurs, where we saw Thomas Tuchel produce a tactical masterclass over Mourinho today. And I'm going to bring you guys the player ratings video where I can go more in depth discussing each and every single one of the players that played their part tonight. I hope you guys enjoy. Remember, I have released a match review too, so make sure you guys check that out. And of course, if you like today's video, if you're happy with the win today, you guys know what to do. Smash that like button. And without wasting any more time, I need to start things off by giving a score to our new manager and Thomas Tuchel. And tonight, you guys, Thomas receives a 9 out of 10. Seeing the performance today, seeing how the players are fully believing in Tuchel's ideas and his tactics and the performances that it's getting out of the players, I felt like Tuchel got things right from the lineup. Of course, seeing Hudson odoi with his pace in behind, stretching Spurs on the right areas, and of course how he's used Mason Mount, giving him even more freedom to pick and choose where Mason can, receive the ball, collect and affect the game. It produced a style of football today in which Spurs could do nothing with in the first half. And one thing that Tuchel is demonstrating to a very high level is that he knows how to target an opposition team's weaknesses. We're going to see this even more, you guys, as the season goes on, but he knows how to find the right tactical tweaks to get the best out of the players, the best out of the team. And with his style of football, it produced so many shots on goal. But, it's down to the players to convert those opportunities into goals, which they still need time with, you guys. So for me, Tuchel heavily deserves his 9 out of 10. And now we start things with the outfield players, starting with Mendy in goal. And with Mendy, we're seeing all the signs. We have seen the signs that he is a top goalkeeper. In games like this where you're not tested too often, when you do get tested in those big moments, you need to perform, you have to step up. And I think that's one thing that Mendy has definitely demonstrated throughout this entire season, and especially under Thomas Tuchel, where the amount of saves he's going to have to make is going to go lower and lower and lower, and it's going to come down to his concentration abilities. And I mean, you see it, it's evident. And what I like is that the defense clearly have faith in him, and Mendy clearly has faith in his defense. I'm going to score Mendy a 7.5 out of 10. Now we move on to the back three, starting with Azpilicueta down the right hand side. And from the moment the game started, Azpi played an incredible long pass over the top to find Timo Werner in behind, and immediately that was the tempo in which Tuchel wanted us to play with. And Azpi was constantly playing passes like this, finding players like Hudson odoi in behind, stepping up really well, defending alongside Reece James too. And he's tailor-made for a back three system, and he defended resolutely alongside his teammates. I'm going to score Azpi a 7 out of 10. Now, moving on to Thiago Silva, and in the short time that he was playing, of course, you can see his world class. There was a time where Son tried to press him, and he just coolly maintained the ball, evaded the press, and passed it very classily to Rudiger. And on top of that, we were seeing him playing those balls in behind to find Werner, which the defenders were really tasked with quite a lot. And even the interception he made, which unfortunately gave him that injury, I mean, that was just world-class defending. For me, I got it completely wrong on socials, thinking that he was overdoing it, just getting it wrong, L on my part, you guys. But let's hope that he's not going to be out for too long, because Thiago Silva really is, and most definitely has been, by far our best signing this season. I'm going to score Thiago a 7 out of 10 for his short cameo on the field. And now we move on to Antonio Rudiger. Now let me get the small negatives out the way. I think maybe that time he got done by Lamela, which to be honest is very harsh because Lamela does that to most players. However, maybe it was a case of not showing them down that side enough, giving that space for him to cut inside. Regardless though, Rudiger was immense today. He was finding some excellent balls from deep over the top of Timo Werner. One in particular in the second half, was world-class passing, and that's been one thing he's demonstrated heavily throughout the entire season. I feel like his level's gone back higher now compared to last season, where for me, I really felt like he was kind of done and dusted. But again, he's another player that is prospering playing in a back three system, which definitely gets the best out of him. I liked how he was defending the spaces in behind Marcos Alonso. He was making so many interceptions. He was resolute. He was strong. And for me, extremely commanding. I'm going to score Rudiger a 7.5 out of 10. Now we move on to our wing backs in the game today, starting on the left-hand side with Marcos Alonso. Now, it's one of those performances where I thought Alonso was good. So many times when it came to the build-up play too, he was playing lots of nice passes to find midfield options. He was playing very good diagonal passes into those central areas too. He was maintaining the ball, he was using his physicality well, and he was holding his positions out wide too really well and really strong. It's quite clear in the system though that Alonso he's got the license now to be able to move inside the box, have shots on goal, get to the back post, probably have headed attempts or shots on goal, and of course, another player that is prospering playing in a back three system because this is his very best position. Alonso really prospers when he's told what to do, when and where, and for me, that's not an insult to the player. This is something that's common in football. And today, you guys, I'm going to score Marcos Alonso a 7 out of 10. Now, down the right-hand side, we move on to Reece James, and for me, I have to say, out of all the defensive players, I say that Reece was by far the best one, which is definitely high praise because all our defenders today were on point, they were strong, and they played their part to help us get this win today. But with Reece, it was the quality in which he played with. For me, Tuchel will have to use this guy. He demonstrated why he's one of the best young right-sided defenders in the world. It's how Spurs players are bouncing off him when he's going for a tackle. It's Reece's understandings of those wide rotations. He knows when to step in fields to allow Hudson Odoi to move wide to the right-hand side. He was playing first-time passes every single time. His crossing was dangerous too. He played the wing-back role to a very high level. He was closing down Ben Davies how many times, just knowing when the pressing trigger started. And it's those classy pieces of play where under pressure, he's always calm, he's always cool, he's always collected, he can play out of any danger. And of course, the way that he played on the right-hand side alongside the other guys too, this was high-level football from Reece James. For me, I'm going to score Reece an 8 out of 10. Now, you guys, I'm going to score Jorginho and Kovacic together. I feel like I'm going to be doing this quite a lot because these guys, there's a reason why, they play their best football playing alongside each other because I feel like they really complement each other's strengths and weaknesses. Speak about Jorginho first. The penalty he took, I was kind of off my seat because I was expecting that typical little run-up he does, but the fact that he put that to the side, I'm just like, you know what? I need to take responsibility here. I've missed a few pens this season. I'm not going to let the team down today. I'm going to put that ball in the back of the net. Yeah, that was the old school Jorginho that I was in high praise of before, some of my criticism towards him. It was great to see that Jorginho back today and just seeing how he was intercepting, seeing how he was going in for physical tackles. He even won a header off Son as well. Jorginho really typified the discipline and the teamwork needed to get this win today. And alongside Kova, with Kova knowing that he can, push forward a tiny bit ahead, getting on the end of one of those little cute Jorginho passes centrally. And this guy too was tenacious in the tackle. He was going for 50-50s. He was driving the ball forward when he could. Of course, at times there was that one moment in particular where he had that tame shot after going on this sensational run straight through the heart of Spurs' midfield. However, that's one of his weaknesses in the sense that when he gets closer to goal, the qualities that we see a lot deeper don't necessarily translate the same way. However, these guys were immense in midfield. They kept our game ticking. And I'm going to score both these players at 7.5 out of 10. Now, we take things forward to our attacking players. And I'm going to start with Mason Mount because for me, this was another key, sensational performance. And, I'm going to really stress when you watch Mason play the next game, watch how he moves. That's the most important thing. Because when you see the movement, you're going to clock a lot of things behind his qualities and the things he does. For me, I've been saying for a while, in my opinion, that I see reminiscences of De Bruyne in the sense that, it's a guy that can play all over the midfield areas. He can play further forward. He can play as a false 9 too. He plays with pace. He plays the ball quickly. He plays between the lines. He plays those line-breaking passes. He knows how to affect a team off the ball. I know, I'm sure in the comments people will stick it on me, but I'm going to stick with what I'm saying, you guys, because I've been seeing Mason Mount for a very long time back in the academy, and now that he's a lot more composed and a lot more confident playing in the league, we are seeing high-level performances from him. The only thing he has to improve upon, though, is the shooting. He has that, you guys. He has it. It's going to come. He's going to be winning games for us from this. But today, just the amount of responsibility he has from a tactical point of view and the fact that he performs it to a high level, which is important for the team. He's a serious player. a very serious player, and I'm going to score Mason Mount an 8 out of 10. And alongside him was Hudson-Odoi, and you know, of course, I felt like he had to play in the game today because his pacing behind on the right-hand side was going to be key to, you know, stretching Spurs, moving their defensive positionings to that right-hand side area. And, you know, I want to praise aspects of his game today, which is making me really excited about his potential, you guys. You know, Hudson-Odoi, I felt like maybe his pressing off the ball hasn't been at that level just yet, but you know, of course, the guy is still very, very young. But the fact that now I'm looking at Hudson-Odoi, not only is he looking physically stronger, this guy is going for 50-50s and winning them. I mean, we weren't seeing that a few years ago, because of course he was still a teenager, but the way he's fully just taking on his defensive responsibilities is so key, because this guy can do everything in an attacking sense. Of course, you know, his finishing, I've seen it, you guys, it is going to come once he has more time. He's going to translate those efforts on goal. I thought maybe today his shot selection could have been a lot better, but that's going to come, you guys. But for me, the fact that he offers so many different dimensions to a team, and now that he's a guy that you can rely upon to, you know, press from the front, I mean, a manager's dream, and it's no surprise why Tuchel's been using him. I'm going to score Hudson-Odoi for that combination play on the right-hand side too, a 7 out of 10. And to complete the first team up front with Timo Werner. You know, I have to really stress that his application today in regards to pressing from the front, which is key, which I have not been seeing Werner doing too often, was instrumental. Of course, you know, his runs in behind. He won the penalty for us, which was key. And he was constantly making that darting diagonal run in between the Spurs defenders, right in between Alderweireld and Dyer. That was taking them out the game all the time. So it was no surprise to me that Dyer made that very, you know, tired type of, you know, lazy tackle to give away the penalty. He had 4 shots today, 3 were blocked and 1 was on target. But for me, I feel like because we're creating the space for Werner to use his pace, the goals are going to come soon. They are going to come soon, and today I thought this was a great team performance. I'm going to score Timo Werner a 7 out of 10. And you guys, to wrap things up with the subs, starting with Christensen, I have to say, hats off to Christensen, you know, to come on immediately with Thiago Silva getting that very unexpected injury. You know, it's hard when you're not warming up too to feel the intensity immediately in a game, especially a game of this magnitude. But for me, this back three position playing in the middle is Christensen's best position, because his understanding is very, very high. His defensive understanding is very, very high, and he's constantly mopping up the danger. He's constantly supporting his defensive partners. And in the sense where Spurs were starting to come onto us more in the second half, you know, his defensive qualities really stood out. And for me, I thought Christensen put in a very commanding performance too. I'm also going to score him a 7.5 out of 10. Moving on to Pulisic, and you know, he is the perfect sub to make when you're trying to play on the counter attack. There's space, because you know this guy 1v1 is just out of this world. You know, his first touch, his close control, his ability to evade the press, beat his man. We saw one spectacular moment where he skipped past how many Spurs guys, but of course, you know, the end product was not there in the end. However, with Christensen, I was impressed by his desire to put in that dirty work for the team. He picked up a yellow card today. When do you ever see Pulisic getting cards? It summed up his application today, and working under Tuchel, you can see that, you know, slowly the performances are getting better now. I'm going to score him a 6.5 out of 10. And to end things with N'Golo Kante, I got to keep things real, my guy Kante. I mean, you know, he's a little bit rusty. He hasn't been playing as many games. And of course, you know, from a tactical point of view, he had to come on to, you know, maintain that intensity in the midfield. However, you know, he did get caught. He did give away that yellow card for Lucas Moura. And a few times I felt like it was a bit slow off the pace in regards to reading like 1 or 2 dangerous moments here and there. However, this is Kante. He's a serial winner. Of course, his form's going to come back. But for the sake of keeping things real for the player ratings, I'm going to score him a 6 out of 10. And there you guys, that was the player ratings video after the big London derby win today. On that note, you guys, I'm going to keep things moving. I'm EFC, this is Blue Line CV. I'll see you guys tomorrow with some more videos.